Mr. Mayor, I may run just a little over if you have patience. Good evening to the council members, police staff members, and the good citizens of Manassas and the great state of Virginia. I agree with the chief that the terms used by a few of our police officers are very inappropriate. We await his action against those who use such terms, but it was clear that the officers at the scenes acted on opinion and not law. Especially when the citizens broke no law and the officers, in concert with supervision present, left the establishment and then returning, causing the manager to ask his customers to leave. There was no reason for this at all. The issue was over. In addition, the chief defended the officers by asserting that they were under no obligation to talk to the citizens. It's about as lame as an excuse can get, especially when the citizens are only defining clear point of law that the dispatcher apparently understood. These actions merely solidify their intent and tactics and their disinterest in what the law really was. Unfortunately, we the citizens do not have this same luxury for ignorance, because we're told that ignorance is no excuse. So why the ambush? Being fair to our police department in this city and most of its officers, speaking as a resident here for many years, are a fine police department. Personally, knowing some of these officers and interacting with some of them has been a good, positive experience, offering mutual respect and service. I am sure if the chief were to poll his folks, hearing both sides of the story, many of them, maybe even himself, would have come to a different conclusion and the outcome completely different. In fact, we probably would not be here today. I asked the council and the chief to reassess this issue and give us, the public, a strict assurance that law-abiding citizens are not placed in this situation again. And that his officers clearly understand this. I'm sorry for the uncomfortable citizen, or for those who oppose guns, but we don't keep Ferraris, Corvettes, and other muscle cars and motorcycles up the street because they go fast and make noise. This is America. And as for self-defense, I have been given this right by birth, defense. And for my permit, the clearance of the Commonwealth of Virginia, and as a citizen, the rightful and lawful duty of these United States to carry a gun in defense of my life and the lives of others if I choose to do so. The City Council could be a forerunner and enact legislation in the City of Manassas, shielding uncomfortable citizens from firearms which they may otherwise feel uncomfortable, allowing the permit holder to dine in the same manner in Tony's and other establishments requiring open carry, except for now the firearm is concealed. 2 points of law and I'm finished. On June 27, 2005, in the case of Castle Rock versus Gonzalez, the Supreme Court of the United States found that Jessica Gonzalez did not have a constitutional right to police protection, even in the presence of a restraining order. Her 3 children were taken and murdered by her husband, despite her cries for help. In fact, since 1856, the U.S. Supreme Court has upheld that the individual has no right to individual police protection. And in the case of Ruth Burnell, who called the police 20 different times to plead protection from her husband. He was only arrested one time. One evening, Mr. Burnell telephoned his wife, told her he's coming over to kill her. When she called the police, they refused her request that they come protect her. Told her to call back when he got there. Mr. Burnell stabbed his wife to death before she could call the police to tell them he was there. The court held that the San Jose police were not liable for ignoring Ms. Burnell's pleas for help. That's a U.S. case decided in 1975. And my final word. This is a quote. You won't get gun control by disarming the law-abiding citizens. There's only one way to get real gun control. Disarm the thugs and criminals. Lock them up. And if you don't actually throw away the key, at least lose it for a long time. It's a nasty truth. But those who seek to inflict harm are not fazed by gun controllers. I happen to know this from personal experience. Ronald Reagan, 1983. I asked the chief to review his findings and ensure that no repeat of this action is ever going to happen again in the city. Thank you for your time, your patience, your devotion to our city and our state. Thank you very much.
Please correct me if I'm wrong, sir. And I consider the fact that I am your neighbors. I was born in the city of Manassas, and I lived here my entire life. I am not ready to abandon my civil rights or give them over to the police department out here. It's a clear violation of people's civil rights, and I did a greater investigation than the police department did. I asked the people at Tony's if they have a policy about kicking gun owners out. They do not. They do not. They would have had to have been requested by someone to get those citizens to leave that restaurant. That was the police. People that were doing nothing were forced to leave a meal that they were eating just because they were gathered there together. That's totally unacceptable. Our police department doesn't have an internal affairs division. How can they possibly think that they're actually going to do an adequate job on so important an issue? I found the whole thing to be a sham. I know how to get action. If y'all refuse to do something for me, I'm going to start a petition to remove you from office. That's how the whole thing works. Take the sheet and circle my name. It's coming back up. I'll get rid of the chief of police. That's not a problem. I mean, if they're not going to do anything, they're not helping me. My tax money goes to pay your salaries. You work for me. Do something. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, council members, thank you for hearing us this evening. I'm just here in support. I have nothing to add to what these gentlemen have already said. I'm not here to beat a dead horse, but I'm here in support. I live here in the city of Manassas in the Wellington section of the community, and I am in agreement that this situation needs to be looked at a little closer, and I would appreciate your attention to that. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Could you just finish your street address? Catherine, you could give us your street address. Sure.
I've lived in Manassas for over a year, Northern Virginia for like 10 years. I was here last time we had a big meeting here. Being a resident of Manassas, I didn't really know what happened at Tony's until I saw it on the internet. And then I actually listened to the 911 call and read the emails, and yeah, it kind of upset me as a resident of Manassas. I realize many people carry a pistol because it's easier than carrying a cop around. They want to protect themselves, and I support that. I don't generally carry a pistol with me. I don't have a concealed carry permit in Virginia right now. I'm going to fix that. But I support people that do because they make me safer. And I think recent events have demonstrated that. So I'm not happy with the results of the investigation. I know these things happen. I don't, I'm not upset that the police showed up based on the call. I mean, honestly, I hope they would show up when people call and go, you might want to check this out. Things got out of hand, and then they were harassed basically because they dared have pistols with them and not cover them up. And I'm not happy with that. I don't want to see a wedge driven between citizens of Manassas or citizens of Virginia and the police force. I mean, the police are there to help and protect us. I understand that. But I don't want to view the police as someone who, if I dare have a pistol with me someday, then now I'm a bad guy. So that's why I'm really here, is to voice my support of maybe continuing the investigation or having a fresh pair of eyes look at this. Thank you.